So our next section has to do with rocks. Before we get into the different types of rocks and where the rocks come from, it's important to note what a rock is. So what is a rock? A rock is classified as being a naturally occurring solid mixture of one or more minerals or organic matter. So unlike what we saw with minerals, rocks can possibly contain some organic, or in our case, once living material. Just like minerals, rocks are classified by their chemical composition. And all that means is what minerals is the rock made from. So here's an example of a rock. This is the rock known as granite. Granite is made up of 3 different minerals. And if you look at that closely, you can see some different colors in there. You see kind of a reddish color. You see some of the black crystals in it. And you also will see some whitish colored crystals. The reddish colored stuff in here is the mineral feldspar. The darker black colored stuff is biotite. And then the kind of white or clear pieces are what are known as quartz. So what we have here, what granite is a mixture or a combination of 3 different minerals. This next rock is known as limestone. Limestone's chemical composition, unlike granite, is made up of 95% calcite, and only just a little bit, 5%, made of aragonite. And because it's made up of pretty much just one mineral with just a little bit of aragonite mixed in, its color doesn't vary as much. Limestone is pretty much just one color, as opposed to granite, which was 3. So here we have 2 very different rocks with 2 very different chemical compositions. Granite being made up of 3 different minerals, quartz, biotite, and feldspar, and limestone being made up of just 2 minerals, being mostly calcite with a little bit of aragonite. And you can see by varying the percentages of minerals in different rocks, we can get different types of rocks. So in class, we saw that there were hundreds of different types of minerals. So you can imagine if we have hundreds of different types of minerals, we can combine them in many different ways to get a huge number of different types of rocks. The other way that we can identify rocks is by their texture. Now I know what you're thinking. You might be thinking texture means how something feels. That's true, but when we talk about rocks, when we say texture, we mean the shape, sizes, and positions of mineral grains in rock. So when you think about texture, I want you to really focus on the grain sizes. For example, one type of texture we can have is what is called something that is fine-grained. A fine-grained rock is a rock that has very, very small mineral grains inside of it. And you can see in this example of shale that the mineral grains are almost impossible to see with the naked eye. A rock like sandstone has a little bit larger grains, what we'd refer to as being medium-grained. And if you look at this sample, you can start to see individual little specks almost like grains of sand. If a rock has larger sized grains, grains that are pretty easy to see with the naked eye, we refer to those as being coarse-grained rocks, like amphibolite. So what we've learned about rocks in this video is that rock is a naturally occurring, solid mixture of one or more minerals and organic matter, that rocks are typically classified by their chemical composition, meaning the minerals that they're made up of, but can also be classified by texture, meaning the size, shape, and positions of the grains in the rock. Thanks for watching this video. See you guys in class. Dun 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 dun